It's the Moo Cow, and we're here to review a movie that was terrible.
For the second time.
For the second time, I'm sorry I have no enthusiasm for this, but joining
Well,
me
okay.
is
Explain what happened
who's joining
because
me?
explain what happened.
The Bell Witch got us. That's what happened.
I think literally that's true because like
Um,
we had sound on every other one, but this one video we do it has no sound
we
at
went to
all.
review The Bell Witch Haunting, which is a piece of shit found footage film from the asylum, and we, threw all kinds of shit at it because it was a crappy movie, and the Bell Witch got pissed and cursed us. So
Yeah,
that's what happened.
that's pretty much what happened. Um, but yeah, let's talk about some of the shit and then
Although I have been thinking a little bit about it, and I've come to the conclusion, the conclusion, that you and I were wrong about what this movie is about. This movie's not about the Blair Witch living in a cave in Tennessee, killing a bunch of
Bell
stupid
Witch,
people, right? Bell
right?
Witch. This movie is actually about how global warming is destroying the world. Okay? Because first thing you notice is, the movie takes place in January, supposedly in Tennessee, and what do you got as a pool party with people running around in bikinis and taking their tops off like it's
Forgot it was January.
California, like it's California. And then you notice like half the trees are palm trees, like California. So clearly, global warming is affecting the world so much that Tennessee is now like California. And it has nice warm weather with palm trees in January.
The director is rolling his eyes, going, I didn't know anybody noticed the palm trees in the background.
Sure, because he got paid $1.35 to do this, and he was given 3 days, and was given half a dozen non-union people to just do whatever, and they just said throw a movie together, and they said okay, and that's all they cared about.
Yeah, it was so the director of it, I looked him up, is Glenn Miller.
Glenn R. Miller.
Glenn R. Miller, who's been a trusty like second unit director and whatnot for the asylum for years until he stepped up. And I think this was his first film for them. I know he had done a series called Jack's Wild Ride or Jacko's Wild Ride, something like that. But he did the co-ed and the zombie stoner, Zombies, which I love, Santa Claus, which is not the fun Santa Claus of like, horror Santa Claus, but is the Santa Claus like I think if I'm correct, is like, yeah, it's a kitty Santa Claus movie.
Well, he was uncredited, I believe, in this. I don't think his name pops up in it.
No, he does not. Nobody's names. Nobody gets any credit for this movie. Now, I don't think that
Always a
anybody
good
wanted
sign.
credit for it.
Always a good sign. That's an Alan Smithy movie.
Well, no, but it's in the found footage. It's not supposed to. Nobody's supposed to get credit. Like none of
Oh, so
the.
they cared about that part of believability.
Mm, well, none of the actual Blair Witch people were. Nobody even knew that they were real people. Like they thought they were those characters. That was the point. But this movie is so terrible and unbelievable that I don't know.
I'm surprised that the sheriff of Adams, Tennessee, didn't get an editing credit because apparently they're the guys who put the movie together by going through all the cameras in all the rooms and all the places and stitching together this story that they released to the public in a very professional manner, by the way. I mean, cops make some of the best horror movies out there.
Yep. Um.
Found
The,
footage ones especially.
well,
We found this footage. We edited it together. We hope you like it. Hope you can see there's some Spielberg stuff going on here.
yeah.
We'll get our SAG credit soon.
I don't think it was very Spielberg. I don't think you can compare anything to this to Spielberg.
No,
Unless,
but
well, you don't like Spielberg much anyway.
I
So,
just think he's overrated.
well,
But
that's
the
how I
point
feel
is,
about Christopher Nolan.
the point is that nobody really gave, any kind of cursory depth of thought to this film at all. It was just, like I said, it was. I was looking online and somebody did part of their review and they said this, and I thought that this is perfect. It's about 3 days work for 3 days non-union pay. Get in, get out, get your rent paid for the month, and everybody's happy.
Pretty much.
That's it. That's the
I
movie.
mean, it was probably the asylum or like, we need a movie stat, and then someone's like, let's go make a found footage film. And it just solves everything.
Why? Why all of a sudden does Asylum need a movie stat? There
Because
are
they make movies every freaking month,
I
you know.
know. So what's changed? What is all of a sudden where they're like, oh my god, we got a shit out of movie in 3 minutes, 3 days. Let's not care what it is. By the way, that's every single movie apparently.
Well, I mean, I
Who
don't
is
know.
scheduling stuff for these guys that they have to do this? That they can't take like 2 weeks and do a movie properly?
Actually, they do take 2 weeks generally. They generally. I worked on one. It took like 14 days, or whatever. But I mean, I was only there for one, but I know like I knew people worked on it. They do, more than that, but it's just I feel like the problem with this one was short because it didn't need, 2 weeks. You don't need 2 weeks. Just take a video camera, start shooting shit, go over here, start shooting shit, go over here, start shooting shit, get it done, put it up,
And the
edit, get
editor
it
will
out,
put it
and you have
together
it.
as
You
a
have it done.
story. Yeah,
That
the
is
editor will
why.
do it.
This is why I hate found footage films. Every single trope that happens in found footage films is in this movie, and every single one of them I hate. I
Right.
hate shaky cam. I hate the fact that characters have the camera on constantly.
Inexplicably, constantly, even though they know
Yeah,
it's annoying.
for no reason. For no reason except that the way, as you always say, the script demands it. But it's also because, well, nobody's gonna see anything if they don't have it on there, right?
Right. And
But
you
I'm
saw
just
how I was calling everything. Every time there was like 10 seconds of nothing happening, it's like, okay, here comes a jump scare, here comes something, because that's the only reason we're seeing this. Even though 99% of any normal kind of security camera is going to be nothing, you can't actually make a movie out of just nothing. Well, I mean, I guess you can, but not even these guys are trying to make a movie out of nothing. So it's got to have something. So they'll make like a light turn on or a hat fall off the
and
rack, and
literally,
that's supposed to be scary.
the funniest thing about when the light turns on, is that it's just somebody turning on a light, like flipping a switch, and that's it. And I'm just like, because the tricks that they do in this movie are nothing. A chick floating in the air. We haven't seen that a billion times. Her killing the priest. Oh my god. What's gonna happen? Like all of this shit was so boring.
Right.
You always say the cardinal sin of movie making is boredom. As being a
Absolutely.
boring movie. This is the epitome of a boring movie. This isn't. I wouldn't even say this is like. If I had to rate this out of the stinkometer, I would give it a 9, because even though it is a meh movie, it's a boring movie. It's really shittily done. It,
Yeah.
it like they really did not care about. And I generally love the Asylum just because their shit's just goofy.
Yeah,
Sharknado.
sometimes they'll take out some kind of oddball thing and it's great, but this is not one of them. This is everybody pay your rent kind of a movie.
This would like reminds me of like Transmorphers. That was the Lee Scott one, and just kind of boring. Like they could have been so much better. And a lot of that I feel, and I don't blame any of the producers, like any of the executive producer guys who run Asylum. They just give them the money. They generally just I think just kind of let them go and do it. I really blame like the director, who was probably also the quote unquote writer, which I would imagine the writing is just go do this, say this, go, you know, and that's fine. That is fine if you're making some completely low budget movie that like your friends are gonna watch or something.
Sure, and it's one reason why you don't even necessarily want to have your name on there as the director, because you're just going to be taking footage from 2 or 3 second unit people who are just going to film 10 minutes of this and 10 minutes of that.
Yep. I don't know. It was just it was one of the worst films, and I remember sitting and watching it, going, like, well, at first you picked it because it was your quick review Thursday, and I was just like,
I wanted a halfway house, but no.
we'll watch that. We'll watch it. We got it. We got it coming. Don't worry.
You're like,
I'll
it's
make sure it's like one of the first ones,
man, you can't have it.
dude. Whatever. I have history with that movie. But whatever. I was almost gonna let you do it, and then you said, nah, I think I'll pick something in my Blu-rays. And this was on Blu-ray.
I
This movie
know.
didn't even feel like it needed a Blu-ray. Like, we do that show Blue Cheese, which you gotta bring back, man. We gotta do that
Oh yeah.
again soon.
Oh
We
yeah.
will.
We will.
I think
That's
it's
an
coming
easy
next
one.
year because right now we just got a lot of shit to do still.
It's an easy one. So all it just needs is you and me, and maybe every now and again somebody else, and just go to the studio and plop in a stinker.
Yep.
This would have been perfect for it, but that's all right. I got plenty more where that came from.
Yep. And this was a stinker.
Yeah.
This would have been a blue cheese, smelly blue
Yeah,
cheese.
this is nobody cares. It gives the actors a chance to sort of go act over the top and act crazy because they're possessed, and it's just
Oh God, you're going crazy about the lady who was whining the whole time, like,
oh
or like
god.
freaking out, and just like,
Because that helps. That always helps.
yeah, you call the cops and you freak out, and the lady's like, "Calm down, lady." The 911 operator is like, "Calm down," and you're just like, "Oh,
Officer Bergalon will be there soon, or Bugabomb, or whatever.
bungalow."
Bug Bomb. Yes, Officer Bug Bomb.
I don't know,
He was
something.
the only guy that ever shows up. So Adams must be a very small place with a single cop.
I guess, but like,
I figure he's moonlighting to try and be, to work for the asylum later. That's why he got his editing, chops. That's why he got to put all the footage together.
who?
The officer. I assume it's the same
Oh,
guy. He put together the film himself after he ran away from all the stuff that happened.
you're very confusing me. Is that a real thing? Is he really the editor? I don't know. I doubt it, but I
They
think what
say
you're
the
trying to
sheriff.
say is that because it says in the beginning of the movie that the sheriff department has put this all together, and it makes
For the
absolutely
public.
none of it harkens back to all like Blair Witch. Blair Witch. This is the Bell Witch. This is the asylum's Blair Witch. That's literally like the ripoff kind of thing.
Right.
But what they are, and probably at the time, I want to say that the Blair Witch was coming out, like the new one that the newer one, the kind of remake slash sequel or whatever that they did. But they were like, all right, let's basically steal all the things that happen, including the fact that the sheriff's department or whatever has put together this stuff. And I'm like, I didn't even buy that for the Blair Witch when I rewatched it, because I hadn't seen it since, I don't know, since it first came out on video.
Yeah, sheriff's departments don't do that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I never I never even took 2 seconds to think about that. But now that I review films, I think about that shit. And I was like thinking that, like, no, why would they do that? Why would they find an editor and edit these together? And it makes no sense.
Even if they found footage, that's evidence.
Yes, I even said that before. It's evidence. Like, why would they do this? So it makes no sense. But this movie, if you're trying to find a movie that makes sense, the Bell Witch Haunting is not for you.
And who the hell knows what the Bell Witch was? Was it a witch? Was it a ghost? Was it a demon? It could seem to do whatever the hell it wanted to, anytime it wanted to. Like I said, why did it just take over the world? It's got plenty of power. Instead of just, haunting these hayseeds, it could have had a lot more fun and just destroyed a city. It was just omnipotent whenever it was convenient.
Oh yeah, and it flew at times. Remember, it flew and grabbed that guy. I think it's the guy that's right behind you. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, yeah, that guy. That guy grabbed him and threw him, and then later when they find him, he's like sitting up. So like the Bell Witch decided to prop him up.
Of course, why not?
After, or I don't know. It's just ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
stupid. It makes no
Um,
sense. This movie,
Normally, I would say that this is the first draft of a movie, but the fact is, I don't think the Asylum
there
was
was
going
no
to do.
draft.
Yeah, well, there was never going to be anything but a first draft for this,
Right.
you know?
There's no draft because there's no script. I don't think there was just an idea, and they just said, "Let's make it." Now, look, I'm all for that. Right? But at least make it interesting. You
I mean, I've
know,
seen 48-hour movies that were done better than this.
I know. I have too. I've been a part of 48-hour movies that have been better than this. And I'm just it's you can get like things together and you can make a movie in like a weekend, whatever, and just don't show it. Kind of show it to your friends, be happy that you made it. Or I mean, Chris Seaver makes movies in a weekend that are way better than this because he
Oh, yeah.
cares
Right.
about, but he also wouldn't do something this boring,
Well,
you know.
exactly. They have fun when they do he does his ridiculous movies. It doesn't, there was not a drop of fun to be had in this movie. That's the other thing. It's just I just didn't care. I couldn't wait for it to be done.
Hmm.
And especially because it's found footage, which you hate,
I
and
hate.
I don't particularly like it either. It is that horse has been beaten to a paste at this point. There's just what are you going to do that's different that hasn't already been done? Nothing.
No, like it's kind of a one joke idea, or whatever, one thing idea
One
because
trick pony.
yeah, and all these people try to recreate it. They try to do paranormal activities, is very much paranormal activity shit. This is all of those, uh, Blair Witch tropes, and I just get bored. I'm
Yeah.
done with it. Please, for the love of God, stop doing found footage.
It just insists on having people doing things that under normal circumstances they would never do this. You never have people. I'm going to set up security cameras inside every room of my house, including my sister's, and even in the bathroom, so I can
That was creepy. He
so I
had it
can
in his.
record everything.
I wonder if his sister even knew. Like, we never found out if his sister even knew that he was recording her sleep. Like, especially when she had a friend over that was like literally in her underwear the whole time. Like, it
This is
was
on
just.
top of the fact that he's already got a camera and he's running around recording everything constantly, and nobody's beat his ass. And then I am going to bring up the fact that my favorite scene in the movie is that when he finally gets killed by the Bell Witch, where she beats the shit out of him with his own camera. That was like the best part. I was
That
like,
was the best. That was the part you liked. I think that
it was
saves it
almost
from.
worth sitting through all the other horse shit just to get to that scene.
If it were just that scene, like it were like a couple clips of him being annoying with the camera and then getting beaten to death with it, you would have loved this movie. Like if that was
And
a short version.
otherwise, it's such a pain in the ass when you look back and you notice how everybody in the family is getting tormented by the Bell Witch, except the asshole who's recording everything and being a jerk.
Or the dad that is checking the sink and then just some blood just comes through the sink or whatever, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?" So he goes outside and finds out there's a dead animal in his fucking backyard, and he touches the blood.
Yeah, and then nothing ever happens of it. It's never mentioned again. It doesn't
No, they said they were going to get a
matter.
plumber, and we never see the plumber, but we see an electrical guy who comes in and gets shocked, even though he's doing so.
Even for Tennessee, that was the dumbest electrician in the
So
world.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. You need to have like because it would make no sense if like the son was coming around videotaping the electrician guy. So they had to make it where the electrician had his own YouTube channel or something, and he was talking about how he was the greatest electrician in the world, and then he fucking shocks himself to death.
Right.
Because
Not even in a realistic way. And of course, in the background you can see all the lights are on in the
yeah,
house.
they're
So
like the lights are on.
so clearly the electricity was never turned off because that's what electricians do when they go to the breaker box.
You know, some people would watch this review and be like, why are you guys just like hating on this movie? Because, it's just a fun little movie. It's not a fun little movie
No.
at all. It is,
Sloppy and point.
Now it's $1.25 at the $1.25 tree,
Right.
so if you see it for yourself. You can judge it. We will, we're not gonna, but take it from us. It's I mean, I would still probably buy it someday if I see it at the store just because I want it in my collection.
I rarely ever say it. Usually, if even a bad movie I say is worth a buck 25. In this case, I think you're better off just taking the damn Blu-ray and burying it someplace so that the Bell Witch won't haunt you.
I don't know. It was not that good at all. Like Asylum, it was bad.
You can do better than this. You've done better than this.
Oh, Asylum does better all the time. I think literally this is just we need to fucking make a movie. Let's do it right now. I think they literally had a quota they wanted to meet, and they were just like, let's get this one done.
They make their own shit. They don't have to worry about anything.
No, I'm saying like they wanted to get one more done that year, that they hadn't signed up for or something. I don't know. This is that's how I kind of view it, because that's the only thing that can justify.
Hug it out.
What?
I'm talking to Asylum saying, hug it out.
Yeah. I love you, Asylum. I really do. I follow all the Asylum guys that are on Twitter. I absolutely do adore you guys. Every single one of you. Just please. People understand this is one of probably, if I had to rank like some of the Asylum movies, this would be on my bottom.
I'm sure they know.
List.
I mean, come on. How could you not know?
Maybe they probably don't even watch the movies. They just put them out.
Yeah, when you get to that point, I mean, come on. I mean, if you need to just make money, just sell drugs. Okay, it's a little more respectful than just shitting out crappy films that you don't.
Just go make some meth
and don't watch. I mean, really, if you're getting to that point, just go sell drugs.
Just go break bad, and then you'll be all right.
There you go. Come on.
All right, well, I guess that's enough of us like shitting on this movie. It was
review Thursday.
Quick review Thursday.
I knew it was something.
Yeah, it was quick, short, whatever. But thank you guys all for checking this out. Join us in 2 weeks you'll have my episode. So who knows? I don't think Paul will be on that one, and I think that'll be for his benefit.
Okay. Probably another Bell Witch movie.
No, it's just something that you won't like. Anyway, until then, everybody, have a good one. Bye.
Yeah.